If you've been active in the gaming community recently, on YouTube or on Reddit, you might have heard a term being thrown around. Classic WoW, Vanilla WoW, Original World of Warcraft. What that means and why it is important even if you're not a fan of Blizzard, I'm gonna show you. First of all though, to understand what WoW Classic is, you first have to know what a private server is. You see, World of Warcraft has been around a long time. The original version of Vanilla WoW was released in 2004 and quickly rose to popularity. Over the next decade, many WoW expansions would be released that would raise the level cap, add content and bring changes to the game. And with changes also comes the people that like the old version of the game better. Now bring in private servers. Private servers were basically versions of World of Warcraft, lines of code that were being run on a server that was not hosted by Blizzard, but by a third party. Usually single individuals. Hosting one's own server brought with it many options though. There were no rules or things that could not be changed. If you did not like something about the game, you could simply alter it as long as you knew some programming. Many of these private servers were then also put on the internet, and many played on them. From what I could find, is that the first bigger private servers were established as early as 2006, but I'm sure some existed even before that. From my understanding, there were exactly two reasons that you'd want to play on a private server in the past. Number one, you generally just wanted to play a different version of World of Warcraft, with different rules and just have fun. Or number two, you wanted to play WoW for free. Now some of you might now say, that's cool and all, but how did buggy private servers lead to this?
Now, before I get to the big news, I want to take a minute. And I want to talk about ice cream. Ice cream is great. Ice cream is one of my favorite desserts. Personally, I love chocolate and I love cookies and cream. Cookies and cream is actually my all-time favorite dessert. But I understand that for some of you, your favorite flavor is vanilla.
Well, you see, over the next couple of years, the private server community shifted a bit. As more and more expansions were released, more people craved the old expansions when WoW was different and, as many people will tell you, hard. And now cue the new private servers. These servers were no longer just for plain fun with crazy rules and weird original stuff, but rather simulations of what WoW was in the past. The private servers that you now encounter were more accurate to how the game was played in the Burning Crusade, for example, and usually did their best to recreate the feeling of having played in that time period. I could name many private servers, and there are quite a few, but for the sake of convenience and time, I'm going to focus only on the one private server that changed everything. Nostalrius. You see, Nostalrius was a WoW vanilla private server that was a bit different than other servers. Nostalrius was a server developed solely for the purpose of delivering an authentic vanilla experience. No way to buy loot, as was the case in many other private servers, no un-Blizzard-like content, and a team that listened to community feedback and tried their best to combat bugs. Nostalrius probably was the closest any private server came to recreating World of Warcraft as it was back in the day. And the community loved it. It blew up. Now in this video I'm not gonna go over what made Nostalrius so good or if they actually reached the player numbers they claim to have reached. I'm gonna focus on how Classic came to be. So continuing on, Nostalrius became the biggest WoW Classic private server. I think even the biggest private server in general. Furthermore, many streamers started to erupt that focused solely on streaming vanilla World of Warcraft, and many videos were uploaded to YouTube showing off vanilla WoW. Now all was good until the hosters of Nostalrius received a cease and desist letter from Blizzard, telling them to put the server down. And Blizzard had every right to do that. If you didn't know it yet, private servers are highly illegal, which makes sense because they are basically a copy of a game that they have no rights to and then they provide it for people to consume, free of cost. As far as I know, playing on a private server is not illegal, but hosting them is. Now what you need to understand is that private servers had existed for a long time, and this fear of losing your characters and progression was part of the risk of playing on a private server. I however do not think that Blizzard specifically targeted Nostalrius because it was the most popular private server. Many private servers had also received such letters in the past, but if they are hosted in other countries for example, it's harder to follow through with putting such servers down. The hostess of Nostalrius however did decide to put its server down. And just like it is with artists or music stars, once it's dead, it really becomes popular. Don't get me wrong here, Nostalrius was popular before, but if it wouldn't have been taken down, I do not think that it would have reached the heights and have the impact that it eventually had. Now when Nost got taken down, the community went crazy, and even people that had nothing to do with private servers knew what Nostalrius was. The important part, however, was that the community feedback was so strong that the guys behind Nost got actually invited to Blizzard headquarters. Now when that happened, I think that was the first time that official Blizzard Classic servers actually seemed in reach. You see, people on private servers had always wanted official Blizzard Classic servers, even if it was just so they had the knowledge that your characters wouldn't just be gone overnight. Now, if I remember correctly, there was little to no information leaked on the meeting, but if Blizzard invited a team to their headquarters, it must have meant something. However, many people thought it was just a marketing move that Blizzard did to calm the community. So nobody actually could say with certainty if official Classic servers would be a thing. So it was a shock when BlizzCon 2017 happened.
But I understand that for some of you, your favorite flavor is vanilla.
Someone once said that you can't go home again, but they lacked vision. And a temporal discombobulator.
Fans of World of Warcraft around the world, we hear you. I am pleased and also a little bit nervous to announce the development of a classic server option for World of Warcraft.
So, Classic is coming. Now I could make an entire new video about Classic servers, the debate of no changes to changes and all that stuff, but for now I just want to say one more thing. Blizzard hasn't got the best reputation, and World of Warcraft is not at its best state at the moment. However, I just think it's a great thing that Blizzard actually listened to the community. Now, whether Classic WoW will be good, I can't tell, but I can tell you that it is always nice to see the community having an impact on the game that they are playing. And it's also nice that another company, other than CD Projekt Red, does something for their community. And I think that if one community achieved a major change like that, others can too. Alright, that was my video. A bit longer than usual, but I hope you like it. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me, and be on the watch out for a new video, it's on its way. Shout out to my friend Memes that decided to spend his free time making this amazing wallpaper and profile picture. Go to his channel, which are linked in the description, and also subscribe to him. That was it from me, 27 out.